I found an old photo a while back. Me, probably early 20s, doing something I haven't done in over a decade. And I sat there looking at that picture for longer than I expected to. Not because I missed being that age, I really don't, but because I didn't recognize the look on the guy's face. He looked fired up, excited, happy to be in the moment, like he was exactly where he's supposed to be. And I asked myself a question that's been sitting with me ever since. When's the last time I looked like that? I'm the Nosey Coach, and today we're going looking for him, the guy in the photo, yours, not mine. Nobody sits down one day and decides to give up who they were. That's not how this happens. It happens in trades. Small, reasonable, defensible trades. You trade a Saturday morning hobby for extra sleep because you were exhausted from the new job. That's a fair trade. You trade the band or the team or the side project for more time with the new relationship. Another fair trade. You trade spontaneity for stability because a kid's on the way and stability suddenly matters more than it ever has. That's an extremely fair trade. Every single one of those trades made sense in the moment. I'm not here to tell you they were wrong. Most of them probably needed to happen. But here's what nobody warns you about. Those trades compound. And if you don't pay attention, you wake up one day having traded away every single piece of the guy who used to feel alive and kept none of them on purpose. You just let each one go because something more urgent was always standing in front of it. Responsible is not the villain here. Responsible is good. Responsible is how you became someone people can count on. But responsible became the only voice in the room. And the guy who used to want things just got quieter and quieter until you almost forgot he was ever talking. So let's go find him. Not to become him again. You can't, and you wouldn't want to. He didn't have a mortgage. He didn't have anyone depending on him. He had way fewer responsibilities and honestly, probably worse judgment. But somewhere in him is something worth recovering. Not the circumstances, the quality. So think back, before the job titles, before the responsibilities stacked up, what did you actually love doing? Not what you were good at, not what you got praised for, but what made you lose track of time. Maybe it was building something with your hands. Maybe it was a sport or music or writing or being the guy who organized the trip everyone still talks about today. Maybe it was just being curious, picking up a new skill for no reason except that it interested you. Now here's the real question, and this is what matters the most. What was underneath that thing? Because the activity itself may not fit your life anymore. You're probably not picking the guitar back up at 6:45 in the morning before your kids wake up. That's fine. But what was it giving you? Was it the feeling of creating something from nothing? The feeling of competing or pushing yourself? The feeling of leading a group of people somewhere? The feeling of being seen as more than just someone who is reliable. That feeling, that's the thing you actually buried. The activity was just the vehicle. And vehicles, as we know, can be replaced. The feeling is what we are looking for today. This isn't about going back, it's about translating. If you used to love the feeling of building something with your hands, that doesn't mean you need a wood shop. It might mean you start a small project at work that's actually yours. Something you build start to finish instead of just managing other people's fires. If you used to love competing, maybe that's not a beer league anymore. Maybe it's setting a goal nobody's watching you chase, just so you remember what it feels like to push towards something with a finish line. If you used to love leading people somewhere, on a team, in a band, on a trip, look at where the instincts could live now. Coaching your kids' teams, leading a project at work you actually care about. Even this, starting a podcast, putting yourself out there, leading a conversation with people you've never met. That's the same instinct in a different outfit. The point is, you don't need to resurrect your 24-year-old self. You need to find where that same feeling can live inside the life you actually built. Let me say that again. You need to find where that same feeling can live inside the life you've actually built. Because that life, the one with responsibilities, with family, with a mortgage, that life isn't the problem. It's actually the foundation. You just haven't built anything fun on top of it in a while. So here's the thing for this week. Find a photo, an old one, from before the responsibilities piled up, and actually look at it. Not with nostalgia, not with regret, but with curiosity. Ask yourself what that guy was chasing and whether any part of that chase is still worth having today. You don't have to do anything dramatic with the answer. Just sit with it. Sometimes naming the thing is enough to start moving towards it again. In the next episode, we'll get honest about something most of us avoid looking at directly: our health, our habits, and the gap between who you tell people you are and who you actually are day to day. We'll call it the man in the mirror, and it's not going to be comfortable, but it's going to be worth it. If this one thing stirred up something for you, send it to a friend or a family member who might need it, someone who used to be that guy with all the energy back in the day. They might need this reminder too. I'm the Nosey Coach. Go find your photo. I'll see you next time.